All right. Hi guys. So this is Vanessa and Joe again, and again, it's really late at night, but we just kind of wanted to kind of share a
They
little
don't
bit.
know it's again. You don't know this is the millionth time we've done this.
Okay, it's really late at night, but we just wanted to go ahead and try this. It's been kind of heavy in my heart to just share and do this in our hearts to be able to, I don't know, just kind of empower, or what's the right word, encourage just couples. It's really sad of just everything that's going on, and it's really easy with Valentine's Day coming. And we just had a conversation a couple of days ago because I've been sitting watching Korean dramas. So if you can imagine.
Yeah. I'm not Korean and I try to avoid drama.
So here you have guys tying somebody's shoe and feeding, like mouth feeding somebody. So, I mean, I'm not saying you have to mouth feed me, but you know what I mean? It's just, it's like novelas, soap operas, lovey-dovey movies. So
Not real.
it's not real. So it puts an expectation on somebody, and it just does. But you know what? Life does, and movies do, and songs do. This expectation of that there is this love, like that it's like if you don't have it with your husband, then you gotta go find the next one, or you gotta go find the next girl because he's not like, oh my God, look at him. Like, no, I'm not attracted to him anymore. I don't love him anymore. And it's like really like it's lies. So we wanted to do this challenge so that way you can kind of what's the word, like just start, little by little, to do things that are nice for your husband and wife, and nobody loves each other the same. He's more of a like words. He usually will tell me like, oh, you did such a great job. You're a good mom. I appreciate you.
I don't make that face, but
but those are his, like the way that he works. And I'm more of just I bought you something, or like I'm gonna take you to the movies, because I'm more of a like show me the gift part, and I grew up like that. Can you say something? You're gonna make fun of me?
no,
Okay.
not
So
yet.
so that's why we kind of incorporated a little bit of everything in it. So there is love languages for, which ones are they? Like
Words of affirmation, which is probably my biggest one.
yeah. There is like when you like buy something for somebody, which is, I don't even know the right word, the gifts. There's the touchy feely one, and that's just like quality time.
It's a different one. Quality time.
Quality time, and then the physical touch one. Where if your husband or wife are always like hugging you and touching you, and yes, maybe they might just want to be hanging out with you late at night and be intimate with you, or they can just have that be their love language. So we incorporated everything in there, and you can modify it too to some of the days. Use them for your kids. But one example, which one? Give me one that off the top of my head that we wrote on there.
Well, I'll just give an example for me. Like it would be getting home from work and saying, thank you for just getting up in the morning and every day just going to work, and for all that you do. So I mean, it's simple, but it really means a lot to me.
Yeah. So, and it's weird because they're just words. And if you think about it, I mean, I would be like, oh, I have your pajamas on the bed for you. And he's like, oh, thanks. It doesn't really matter. But if I tell him like, man, text him, thank you so much for working hard. I appreciate you. Like, you're amazing. He's just like, smile emojis, like heart emoji eyes. He likes that. He eats that up. So I tend to forget that sometimes too. And we've been married for 13 years. So just, it happens. So that's why we wanted to do this, so that way you don't just buy that one flower on the Valentine's Day corner. Is that right?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, though.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's the only thing you're doing. That's when it can create a problem.
Yeah, and we know, women know. And I think that this is important for men too, because you kind of, if you take the load off because you're doing these nice things to your husband during all these days before Valentine's Day, you kind of take the pressure off a little bit, because he's going to be thinking about you. You're going to start igniting something in his heart. And he's not going to do it just because you're going to yell at him because he didn't buy you a ring or a Louis Vuitton purse or a Marc Jacobs purse, and you couldn't show it off on Instagram. And my friends are showing off their stuff on Instagram. Like, it's not gonna matter for that stuff. No, I'm serious. It's, you guys know it's true. So just, we'll be posting it. So follow me. I try to just, because there's going to be different people coming onto the challenge. So I did a separate Instagram, and it's going to be Gracefully Living with V. And it's just going to have a little bit of the things that we're going to be doing and sharing, and the challenges that we're going to start creating. And we just want to be able to work out, just work with people, even though we don't get to see you guys. We know you guys are out there, and we know that, we just need that encouragement to kind of keep on going and fight for our families and our marriages and our kids, because it's worth it. From my perspective as a guy, no, I'm a girl. As my my perspective as a girl is just, before I met him, I was very into, if you're not making me happy, then I'm gonna leave you. Like, that was me. I was very spoiled. He knows, and I would do that. If you're not making me happy, then I'm leaving. And
can I say something about that?
Yeah.
I honestly, now that we've been married for all this time, I don't think that, if I were to look back, I don't think that it was necessarily that she was spoiled. I think that she just didn't have a strong concept of what genuine love was. Yeah. So she used to have this thing where every time she said anything, she'd be like, "Can you go to the store for me? If you love me, you'll go to the store for me." And I just like, of course I love you, that's why I'm with you. But it was like almost like an obsession, where it was like, okay, well, on your way home, can you stop by and grab me a coffee or something from Starbucks? If you love me, you'll get me a coffee from Starbucks.
Yeah, it would.
And it was kind of this weird thing and I realized that it wasn't as much as of her asking me to express my love to her in that way, which is what she likes, right? Acts of love. But it was more of like her trying to convince herself that I loved her, or that she was loved. And so it took a really long time for me to break through that. And so I just bring that up because while you're trying to figure out, if you don't know already, like what your spouse likes, talk about it, work that out, because that will help you to satisfy each other in the way that you want to be satisfied. And so at the same time, have patience, because some of the stuff you're just not going to want to do, and you're not going to like it, or it's not going to feel comfortable, because that's not how you express yourself. And that's something that I'm still learning, but I've gotten much better at, is trying to express love to her the way that she wants to be loved, instead of the way that I want to be loved. And she gave that example of words of affirmation. I tell her how much I appreciate her, how much I love her, and what a wonderful mom I think she is. And she's kind of like, okay, show me, and so my words to affirm her are not enough, and she appreciates them.
I do.
But that's not the way that she would prefer that I express my love to her. So as weird as this might sound, I get way more brownie points if I wake up and I make oatmeal. Go figure, right? So it doesn't matter how many times I tell her I love her, I made you oatmeal. Like, that does it. That does it. So anyway, so that's just a little example of how we have learned to kind of love each other in a different way that's meaningful to us. So
yeah. So my example was the reason why I say that, because it's really easy nowadays for, to be working. Some guy comes by and it's like, oh, you look really nice today, because that's how he won me over. He said my ponytail looked nice, and that was it.
It was kind of like that, right?
I was over the moon. That was it. Like, I was ready to say, like, I'm ready to marry you and go live wherever you want. Like, I was ready. And that was one comment on a bad day, so just, it can happen. It can happen because this is a result of that. And I know that. And because I know that, now we want to make sure that we kind of spread the word to tell you, like, that you can create something really nice with your husband or your wife if you just give them a shot, give them a chance to understand how you want to be loved, and give them a chance for them to love you the way you want them to love you, and work together as a team, work together as like friends, as like learn to date each other again. And hopefully the little challenge will get you guys. And they're not hard things. There's things where you don't have to buy anything. There's things where you don't have to, just spend much money. Just things, I mean, they're easy. No, I'm lying. They're not easy. If they're not your love language, they're not easy.
Right.
But they're doable. That's what I mean. They're doable. So that's my point of why it's important to do this challenge. I don't know, like for the guy's part.
For me, I think it's important, I guess, if I were to give a man's perspective, and I'm assuming there's probably going to be more women watching than men, but it matters because a lot of the times we've got into arguments because I wasn't being what she needed me to be. And so in the beginning, there was no way, we just didn't know how to express that to each other. So she's getting frustrated with me, and I don't even know why. And so, right, we go back to the old saying, well, I can't read minds, right? But women do have this, this thing that they do where they get so, they get upset and they get their feelings hurt because whether it's social media or soap operas or whatever, wherever they get these ideas of what men should be, whether it was how they grew up or what they have a friend that from the outside they think they have this amazing relationship and they just want that so bad for themselves. That they don't know how to express that, to say, this is what I need you to be, this is what I need from you. And so instead of being able to express that and have the husband reciprocate that or respond to that request, she just get the idea in her head, and then every time we don't fulfill that, it's another frustration. It's another opportunity to be upset and get angry, and it really does create an issue. So for me, I think it's helpful to talk about it because then I get to be what she needs me to be. And in the beginning, it might feel cheesy, it might feel ridiculous, it might be like, well, this is fake because you just told me to do this and now I'm doing it. But that's how it starts. That's how it begins. And then before you know it, it becomes second nature. And so I'm 13 years in and I'm still working out the details. But hey, I'm not the same person that I was in the beginning, and I've come a long way. So for me, I think the most important part is to have that expectation out there so that I can meet it. And I'm a list guy. You make me a list, I'll do what I can to knock it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 10 or whatever, however long the list is. But to just expect things of me and I have no idea what you're thinking, that's frustrating for me and that's stressful. And it doesn't give me a goal to work towards. It doesn't give me a sense of fulfillment that I've actually accomplished something that you need from me. And so that helps me to be successful in loving her. And so then when I love her better, she loves me better. And that's where I think the biggest impact has been for me, is to help give me a better understanding of what she needs, because I do love her, right? But my inner self tells me, yeah, I love you, or else I wouldn't be here. Like, you don't understand that, but that's not how it works. That works for me, but that doesn't work for her. Or if it's like, yeah, I love you. If something changes, I'll let you know. That doesn't work. So it just helps to lay all the cards out on the table, all the expectations, and be able to meet those expectations. And it just really allows you to grow deeper in love and express love in a new way, which also helps kind of recaptivate your spouse.
Yeah, it does. And he's not lying about the list thing. Like, I literally would make a list, or I will make a list now, and I would literally put it in the front door when he goes out, because for Christmas, for 2 months straight, I don't know if you guys have seen that post, or you guys got mail for, what is it called? Shane something. It's like that. I don't know what it's called.
Sorry, it's not a good advertisement for you.
What is it called?
I don't know how to say it.
Shine wine. I don't know what it's. Something like that. So it's a show, and it looks really nice. So I'm like, man, I really wish I could go to this. So I'm just kind of just looking at it, and I was mentioning, and I just mentioned it, like, oh, I wish I could go. That just flew him by. So we got an advertisement in the mail. And I'm like, you know what? Forget this. So I just wrote literally in big fat letters, Vanessa wants to go to this. And I put it in front of the fridge, because he has to go to the fridge eventually. And sure enough, he got the hint. We got him for Christmas. I was so grateful.
Yeah.
So I get to go to it this Saturday? Friday. So I'm really excited. But so yeah, guys. All right. So I hope that you guys can join the challenge. We love you guys, and I hope that good things happen. You know, as you do the challenge, if you want to take pictures and, you know, so you can encourage others and put hashtag 14-day love challenge. And that way we can kind of all keep each other, be like, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing. And it just kind of encourages, because everybody watches, everybody is on social media. So
and you know, I try to get more involved with social media. It's really hard for me. I'm just not that kind of guy. But let us know if that's something that you're interested in, if you think that it's something that your husband could benefit from. You know, we're usually not the kind that are going to go out and look for something, but if it's helpful, you know, I'll jump on my social media, on my Instagram, and I'll kind of keep posting from the men's perspective. And so just, you know, make a comment, you know, on Vanessa's social media. If it's something that would be helpful for you, I'd be willing to do that, you know, and just make that commitment. Yeah. Just to give the guys a different perspective. And so I'll just tell it from a guy's point of view. You know, a lot of times it just does not feel natural. A lot of times it feels like the worst, cheesiest thing. Like, why do I even have to do this? But in the end, we get the results that we want.
I do.
And so I want you guys to have a successful marriage. I want you to have a beautiful, loving, deep, you know, connected relationship. And we're living in times now where it's all about self-gratification.
Yeah.
It's all about, you know, instant gratification. And if you can't get what you need right now based on what you feel right now, then you need to look elsewhere. And that is just not the way to have a long-lasting, deep relationship. You know, to really have a deep intimacy with your spouse, sometimes you just got to go through some things. And when you make it through and you get to the other side, you look back and you think, wow, like, we made it. You know, look at us.
Oh my goodness.
And you really just, it takes you to a whole new level. And so it just takes work to get there. You know, I'm working with people right now that are telling me, like, man, when you said it was not easy, you're not lying. And it's just true. It takes work. And so, again, if that's something you think your husband could benefit from, or you just kind of want to shoot him a link and say, hey, check this out when you get a chance, you know, I'd be willing to do that. But just let us know, and I'll make that effort.
All right, guys. So love you guys, and we will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.